The Shadow Collector. In a remote village nestled between dense forests and towering mountains, there lived an enigmatic figure known as the Shadow Collector. This man, whose real name was lost to time, was said to have the power to collect shadows. Villagers whispered stories about how he roamed the village at dusk, silently plucking shadows from the ground and tucking them into his ancient, tattered bag. The origins of the Shadow Collector were shrouded in mystery. Some claimed he was a fallen angel cursed to wander the earth, while others believed he was a wise old sorcerer who had found a way to harness the power of shadows. Regardless of the truth, everyone agreed on one thing: the Shadow Collector was not to be trifled with. One summer evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the cobblestone streets, a young girl named Alara watched curiously from her window. Unlike the other villagers who avoided the Shadow Collector, Alara was fascinated by him. She had always been a curious child, her imagination fueled by the countless books she read by candlelight. Determined to uncover the truth, she decided to follow him one night. Wrapped in a cloak to blend into the darkness, Alara trailed behind the Shadow Collector, her heart pounding with excitement and fear. She watched as he gently lifted shadows from the ground, each one dissolving into his bag as if it were made of smoke. Intrigued, Alara continued her pursuit deeper into the forest. After what felt like hours, they reached a clearing bathed in moonlight. In the center stood a large, ancient tree, its gnarled branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. The Shadow Collector approached the tree and emptied his bag at its base. To Alara's astonishment, the shadows did not simply pool on the ground but instead seemed to be absorbed by the tree itself. The tree glowed faintly, its bark pulsing with a soft, otherworldly light. Unable to contain her curiosity any longer, Alara stepped forward and asked, "Why do you collect shadows?" The Shadow Collector turned slowly, his eyes meeting hers. For a moment, he said nothing, but then he spoke in a voice that sounded like the rustling of leaves. "Shadows are the essence of what we fear and what we hide. By collecting them, I am giving people a chance to let go of their burdens and embrace the light within." The Shadow Collector explained that the tree was no ordinary tree but a magical entity that could transform darkness into light, fear into courage, and sorrow into joy. Each shadow he collected was a fragment of someone's inner turmoil, a piece of their soul they were too afraid to confront. By feeding these shadows to the tree, he was helping the villagers find peace and happiness. Alara listened in awe, realizing that the Shadow Collector was not a figure to be feared but a guardian of the village's emotional well-being. As dawn approached, she returned to her home with a newfound understanding and respect for the mysterious figure. From that day on, Alara made it her mission to share the true story of the Shadow Collector, teaching the villagers to appreciate the light that could be found within their own shadows. Years passed, and Alara grew into a wise and compassionate leader of the village. The fear and superstition that once surrounded the Shadow Collector faded away, replaced by gratitude and reverence. The villagers learned to face their fears and embrace their true selves, finding strength in their vulnerabilities. And while the Shadow Collector continued his nightly rounds, his presence became a symbol of hope and healing rather than fear and dread. The ancient tree in the forest flourished, its luminous bark a testament to the power of transformation and the enduring spirit of the village. In the end, it was not just the shadows that were collected but also the hearts and minds of the villagers, united in their journey towards inner peace and happiness.